All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone, who continue to rule well and guide us through the Spirit. All right, and to the elder high priests as well, who taught them. All right, and shalom, peace and blessings unto the Most High's hopeful elect across the four winds of the earth. This is the brother Yagadal, I'm one from GMS Houston. All right, back with another lesson. All right, I had a short list of scriptures I wanted to go into. All right, and just based off of a common conversation amongst brothers right now, as we have the fight of our life ahead of us, man. Okay, literally, all right, we're gonna have to fight for our life using faith. Okay, all right, we are gonna be faced with different perils and dangers. All right, we're going to be put in situations to where we have to show an ultimate level of faith, all right, before our enemies, okay, enemies of our own nation, all right, and enemies of the other nations. At the top, Esau, Edom, all right, who's going to come and drop a hammer on the believers, okay, whether you go under GMS, ISUPK, or whatever. All right, everybody that's claiming to believe, all right, that they're Israelite and have voiced that in some way, form, or fashion, all right, is going to be a target, man. But we focused on the elect, the sincere men, okay? All right, and we are preparing our minds spiritually, okay? It's not like you're going to, no, only thing you could do is continuously serve the Lord, okay? And he's going to put the spirit on you, all right, to give you the level of faith, all right, to endure, all right, whatever test lies before us. Okay. So I wanted to get some key examples in the scriptures of our forefathers, man, who went through major tests, okay, that we haven't seen yet. Okay. So I'm going to start with Apostle Paul. All right. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and starting in verse 22. It says, "Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I." All right, just for you Christians real quick. Yes, Paul was a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, so when he stated in Romans 9, he wished he could have replaced Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly knows Jesus Christ, all right, for his brethren according to the flesh. All right, that's who he was sent to, the Israelite foreigners. Okay, all right, not the other nations. All right, let's get back on topic. Verse 23, it says, "Are they ministers of Mashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more, in labor is more abundant." Okay, so Paul, all right, humbly he's going to list, all right, his credentials, all right, if you want to say. All right, it says, "In labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prison more frequent, in deaths oft." Okay, so when you read this, all right, these are the things that Paul faced, all right, for his service unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we keep this in mind, keep these accounts in mind that there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, we're gonna have to go through the same situations, man. All right, but this is the last go around, and hey, Esau's gonna go hard, man. All right, now we got to face dealing with his technology, all right, his weaponry. Okay, all right, this devil is thirsting to get back into those ancient torture tactics. All right, verse 24, it says, "Of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep, in journeyings often, in perils of water." In perils means danger. Okay, so it says, "In perils of robbers, in perils of my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren." Hey, these are the things we can't be shocked or amazed when these things happen, man. All right, the scriptures aren't here just for us to read and get motivated. No, it's supposed to all right, boost your faith, all right, to know that, hey, if I truly believe that I'm a man of the Lord, I have to be tested. Okay, so we are spiritually, all right, vetting ourselves in hopes that the Lord, okay, sees us fit, okay, as his servants. Okay, and what is he going to do? He's going to reward us with the resilience to fight against the temptations that's going to come. All right. It says, verse 27, and I'll stop right here. I just wanted to go through this list. All right. It says, in weariness and painfulness. So Paul, man, Paul was going through some shit, man. All right. And you got Israelites that push this narrative of this jovial, rejoicing all the time, partying and bullshitting spirit. Man, the prophets go through things, man, to be tested, to prove themselves before the Most High in the midst of their service. All right, not slacking up. Okay, not giving excuses. All right, steady fighting through whatever the fuck we got to go through, man. We getting our ass kicked physically in this kingdom, man. All right, we're aging. All right, we'll wore the fuck out, man. But we still have a job to do. All right, we've seen beautiful men, all right, who fought until the end, man. Okay, and it lift our spirits, man. It motivated us, man. All right, to know sufferings that our brethren was going through, all right, while they was in this flesh, but continue to be on fire for this word and be a benefit to the body. Okay, that's what we want the end of our story to be, to fight to the end. All right, whichever is set for us by the Most High. All right, it says, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. And like I said, Paul, he wasn't doing this to be prideful, but he was like, hey, man, I want to fucking boast. All right, and talk boldly with shit. Let me list off some things, man. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to speak the brother's name, man. All right, but he's in the spiritual world now. All right, but we was having a conversation when I was blessed to meet the brother. All right, and I caught myself. I said, man, Salakia, I was talking too much, and he was like, no, tell your story. No, it's no, you're a servant, man. Tell your story. It's okay. All right, but this is just things that happen amongst the brotherhood. We don't share, all right, everything on camera into the world, man. All right, amongst us, man, we truly, all right, dwell as true brothers, all right, fighting the same fight, all right, with different battles, man. Okay, so let's jump over to Genesis, the 22nd chapter. Well, where I want to start. All right, and this is a major test, all right, that was given to our forefather Abraham. Okay. All right. This is Genesis. And I honestly can't say that I would have been able to right away take the commandment and go to sacrifice my son. Okay. All right. But this is Genesis chapter 22 and starting at verse 6. It says, and Abraham took, let me jump up. I'm just going to start from the top. All right. This is Genesis 22:1. It says, and it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee to the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood for the burnt offering and rose up and went unto the place of which Yahweh had told him. Then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you. So look at the faith that Abraham had, man. Okay. And he knew that at the end of the day, the Lord could raise my son up, but I have to do as I'm commanded. Okay. Verse 6, it says, and Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac, and can you imagine what could have been going through Abraham's mind at that point, man? Knowing that, hey, I'm about to sacrifice my son. All right. That I love dearly. All right. It says from the top of 6 again, it says, and Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, my father. He said, here am I, my son. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And this is always spiritual to me because what? All right, Isaac, Yahushua was Isaac in the reincarnation. Well, Isaac was Yahushua in the reincarnation. Okay. All right, and Yahushua was set to be that perfect sacrifice, that lamb without blemish. Okay, so right here, Isaac, it wasn't time for him to be that sacrifice. He was going to be that sacrifice when he came back as Yahushua. Okay, all right, it says, verse 8, it says, and Abraham said, my son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering, which will be a spiritually talking about Yahushua. Okay, it says, so they went both of them together, and they came to the place which Yahweh had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood, man. Hey, I'm just extrapolating, man. This is I'm just visualizing, all right, how serious this was, man. All right, for him to bound up, all right, Isaac, all right, and laid him upon the wood, man. Okay. It says, and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. Hey, he could have been crying, man, wailing, all right, at this time, man. Okay, but full of faith and belief, all right, and hey, his service unto the Heavenly Father, and I have to do as I'm commanded. All right. And hey, the reward can be greater than the sacrifice. All right. But reading on, it says, and the angel of the Lord called him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, here am I. And he said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. So this was a test, and Abraham passed with flying colors, man. So we have to be in that mindset as well, no matter what the test before us. If we do as we're commanded by the Heavenly Father, okay, which we're not going to be spoken to directly by the Heavenly Father, but we're going to be put in situations. All right. And that's what we meditating on now, man, the things to come. All right. And we know in order for the kingdom of heaven to be established, all right, this place has to go. But in the midst of this place going, we're going to be tested beyond belief. Okay. But if we be of the elect, we're going to fight through it, man. Okay. To show our fear in the Heavenly Father, man, versus the fear of man in this beast system. Okay. So, I want to grab this next account in the book of Daniel. All right. This is the account of, as you're reading the Apocrypha of the 3 holy children. Okay. This Daniel chapter 3, and I'll try to get through this little rapido. All right, this is Daniel chapter 3, and starting at verse 19. It says, Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it ought to be heated. Okay, so he was so pissed off that they didn't bow and worship. All right. He said, hey, heat the furnace up, 7 times more than it usually is, man. Okay, which this is not your conventional ovens you see today. All right, these ancient ovens are where he could cook a loaf of bread or bake a loaf of bread, all right, within a matter of seconds, man, or minutes. Okay, it says, Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then, hey, just alone right now, Jake would have been, first of all, the majority of you niggas would have already been bowing down, man. Okay, but as soon as they heard the commandment, okay, a lot of you Jakes would have, all right. And what's going to be the test? The main test, all right, is the MOTB. All right, that outward temptation. All right, for the ones that make it. But a lot of you guys, you guys are gonna take that, man. Okay, you're not gonna have to get threatened with a fiery furnace. All right, you guys, your doctrine and the vibrations you're putting out are showing that you're gonna take it, man. Okay, it says, verse 21. It says, Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen and their hats and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceeding hot, the flames of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So this is going in, letting you know how the Most High will protect you. All right, no matter what. There's no limits to the Most High. Okay, it says, and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the furnace? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loosed. All right, so 3 were thrown in there. Okay, but now they're giving a report back. They see 4 men. Okay, it says he answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, so no harm. The men that bound them and threw them in there were burned up from the flames. All right, just escaping out of the furnace. All right. They were in there protected, all right, with another man. Okay. All right, like we talk about, man. Yahweh Shai, it wasn't his first time, all right, being on the scene. All right. He came in the flesh as Yahweh Shai, who the world is going to know as Jesus Christ once. All right, but he's been on the scene doing work. Okay. There's many reasons why we are to worship him. All right, it says, and the fourth, and it says, and the form of the fourth is like the son of Yahweh. So this was Yahweh Shai in there protecting them, man. He is everything for us, man. All right. He is the only begotten son that the Most High set up to handle all his business and forward his will. Okay. So when we put our fear, all right, and trust in them, our faith in them, all right, then we're good, man. There's no losing, man. All right, yeah, we're going to have to suffer. Yeah, we're going to have to make sacrifices. We're going to have to lose everything to gain everything, which everything is the kingdom of heaven. Okay, So what we're losing here, we're really not losing anything. We don't have anything on this side. All right. We don't have no might. We don't own our children. We don't own our women. All right. We paying rent and mortgages. We don't, Esau can take all this shit, man, but it's cankered, man. It's corrupted. All right. So be in the mindset of, hey, I'm not losing shit. There's nothing here for me to lose, man. All right. I can only gain, all right, approval through the eyes of Yahweh Yahushai. Okay. By extolling myself, all right, into this service, man. All right. At all costs, not making excuses. My job, this happened, that happened. We got a service to do. And the reward is the Lord increasing our faith to deal with whatever he has set before us, man. Okay, so we haven't been tested yet, and we still had a fight of our life awaiting us, man. Okay, that's it for this lesson. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua willing, it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Rahakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings, shalom, to the Most High's hopeful elect across the four winds of the earth. Keep fighting, keep pushing.